Okay, we're here at the Shoe Healer in Doncaster, and we have a pair of beautiful Trickers Malton brought in by Robert. Now, I think Robert has got hold of these boots, some sort of second-hand sales, eBay or somewhere like that, and got them at a great price, and they are beautiful. I mean, don't be afraid to look at these second-hand boots and shoes that are on Vinted or eBay or Marketplace or anywhere like that. These are gorgeous. It won't have paid crazy money for them. What they have done is they've had a bit of a poor repair, so he's having them stripped off, and they're going to have a Ridgeway sole on. Now, a poor repair, not the worst repair we've seen, but have a look. That's the sole that's on there. Look, can you see that? And it's had some of the old stitching left, and this is what happens. Can you see that the rough stitching there? Look, you see, and you can see bits of the old stitches starting to fluff up where they've just been stitched down. And look at the heel. Look there. Can you see the grind marks in there? Look, the scour marks. Just turn that round there like that. Look at those scour marks in there. Look, just terrible. This one is even worse. Look at that. How can you let that one go out like that? So, how has this happened? Well, the chap he's put a heel. Look at that. That rivet is just waiting to curl round there as well. It'll bend down there when he gets walked on, which he's not going to do. Obviously, it's going to get stripped off. But what's happened during the finishing process, we've been on the rough wheel here. Look, come in here, look. And you see those lines there. Can you see them? They showing up that onto there like that. Yep. So he's gone round on the rough wheel, getting this heel roughly to shape. And then he's gone over to the beautiful smooth wheel there. And he's gone round there like that, smoothing it off, getting rid of most of these lines here. But look, God, they're so deep there. I don't know if you can get that. That is shocking, yeah. So he's come around here onto the smooth wheel, give it a little bit of smooth, and then he's given up. Instead of just slowly, carefully working at that little bit and smoothing that down and taking all those rough bits out, he's done a little bit and then he's given up. And then inside here, look, inside, this is called the breast of the heel. This is the waist, this area. This is in there, is the breast of the heel. And that goes on to the breaster, like that there. So he's done that one, and then he didn't bother doing that one. He just left that one rough. So, but still not the worst repair we've seen. Thankfully, the guy's not massively damaged these welts. The heel stacks are goosed, but they were going anyway when they're coming for a full repair. They've had a cheap half sole and heel, which sometimes, a lot of you people, you don't want a half sole, but a good half sole sometimes is great. It just, you can have half sole, and then a full repair. Nothing wrong with a half sole, and that's not the worst one we've seen. Thankfully, it's not riveted across the waist, because when you do, the rivets go through and they break the shank, and they just make a mess of the boot, because the nails go all the way through, hit the last, and then they curl back on themselves, and they sort of rivet. They're not just nailing down, they're riveting down the waist so that when the boot flexes, it doesn't pop up. But you don't need to do that. If you splice them in nicely, you don't need to do that. Anyway, we're going to strip this off, completely strip it off, take the stitches out, check the cork, check the shank, do a rebuild in a Ridgeway unit, and they will be gorgeous.
Right, prise something up, just get it started. Okay, man. Okay, man.
Wouldn't that be better if you had a stirrup on?
Probably.
You don't like a stirrup?
No, because I forget about it and trip up over it.
You know.
Hey, there we go.
So a stirrup would come up here, twist round there, over
hold
there,
the boot firm to the last,
and it holds it solid.
Right, here.
They're just not used nowadays.
No.
In fact, I've got one somewhere, haven't I?
Yes.
Yeah. Fell down back of machine here.
Right. Let's. head of them nails off on this old band.
That stops the
Sparks going into the machine, yeah.
going into the machine.
Take that old heel stack off, we'll use that for measurements for the new heel stack. Then onto this machine. Price of these bands, I don't like using for the nails. We take this lovely sole off that some blind person fitted. So then when we take the old sole off, we take the lugs off the top, or whatever you call them. Well, it's fitted, it's got a good groover anyway. No tell. Wow. There's a deep groover. Right, I think that's about them all.
Okay, so what you were just saying there was you've had to grind in a long way, quite a good depth.
Look how thick sole they put on there.
Yeah, really thick sole, but they've grooved it really deep. Which
Really
is good,
deep.
isn't it? Really
Yeah. Because the higher up the shallower the groove, the higher up the stitch sits, and then obviously you're wearing through the
Yeah,
stitch.
but
But if it's bonded together, then you know.
And even that, when you've took the
Yeah, it's still absolutely solid, isn't it?
Solid, you know. People do worry about. I've worn the tops off the stitches, and it doesn't really.
Right, we're just going to make a little opening, and then we can get us pliers under there. The only problem you've got to watch when you're doing a repair after somebody else's work is exactly what.
Look, you see that shiny, all this shiny area here, that's glue, and it never bonded.
Yeah, it's
to
never
the sole.
stuck. You can see where it's stuck here.
This is where it's all stuck, and you're peeling all the glue
sunk into the leather, and it's
but
absolutely
here,
stuck together.
This is what you see on a lot of repairs. They've not been pressed, they've not been knocked down properly, and those two faces never met and bonded.
So that together with the shallow groove,
Yep.
you wear the stitches away, and then your sole's going to be.
Yep.
Right, and that's how it should look when it comes from trickers.
Yeah.
All beautiful
That's it.
and bonded together.
So you saw that there is all this area is original, and that was.
Yeah.
But do you know that all the manufacturers are using solvent-based solution, not solvent, water-based solutions now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. Green and all that.
Green and all that. Yeah.
Right, so we've lifted his sock inside.
Yep. So you've just got the pad there. Yep.
Just got the pad. Usually on the trickers the pad will come out in one, but if not, no. We'll have to get it out with a little screwdriver or something. Tap our nails out so we can get them out a bit easier at the other side.
Why are you using the pointed end of the hammer and not the flat face of the hammer?
I don't know. It just seems easier. Ask me in 5 years when my eyes have gone.
Yeah. So that's now lifted, and you can get the pliers in there.
Get these extra long pliers on.
Yeah.
Can you see?
Yeah.
And just lift the nails.
God, you make it look so easy. So easy.
When you do lots,
Mr.
it
DIY,
becomes a rhythm.
Could do some repairs, couldn't it?
I think if you've got that sort of, get in the garage with your tools type of attitude.
We should do a workshop.
I have got a friend who owns a fish and chip shop, not naming him, but his toolbox consists of a bucket with a flat end screwdriver coming out of it. Not very engineering minded at all. Are you, Mark? But we love him to bits. Yeah. If anything needs repairing, he picks his phone up, not a screwdriver.
I have a man to fix that.
Yeah.
I don't need a tool. Oh, the tool comes attached to
the tool's me.
Yeah.
But he's a good lad, we don't mind. Right, so all our nails are out there. Trick is you always get one stuck under that insole, so watch out for that. Tip those out. Right.
Stitches.
Here comes the stitches. It's quite an old one, so I don't think they're going to come out in one like they usually do with a tricker. And the ones where they've left the stitches in at the front and just stitched over it here, look.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So we've got to get those out as well.
So 2 lots of stitches to get out.
Yeah. But it doesn't help. We've got to get the original ones out, but they've just scoured them off.
Yeah.
When they put the half sole on. These might come out in one though. But if it's an older one, you usually find. Oh yeah, there we go.
So that's obviously just going to be around the back of the heel.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately. Oh yeah, if they all did it like this, it'd be fabulous. There's only really trickers that you can do it on. I don't know why. Or if it's been done by a repairer. Yeah, that's it. That's where it ends. That's where their
So now you're going
that's where their stitching starts.
Yeah. Start picking all
You
these
see
out.
see the black.
Yeah.
And why you'd use black thread on a brown boot, oh Lord only knows. But yeah, at the back there, look, that's all come out fabulous.
Brown thread on a black boot because then you're going to ink it up, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah. But obviously,
yeah, the black's going to always come through on there.
They've not really tried to ink that brown and hide it, though, have they?
But not the worst repair we've seen. You know, it was a solid repair.
It's definitely not the best.
No, but it was a solid repair.
It was I'd give him a 2.
Never.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to say 4.
No, not with the finish. I mean, look at the finish on the heel
We've
start.
just done all that, yeah.
Inside it, look at it.
Yeah, didn't trim the...
He's not got a breaster, has he, the poor chap?
Oh, he did, because he'd done the other one.
Right. Just forgot that one.
Yeah, forgot that one.
Somebody made him a coffee.
So all these stitches out. We don't need to be filming you while you pick all the stitches out.
No, because that's where swearing comes.
Yeah, all the stitches out, and then...
We can get these out.
Midsole,
the factory ones.
Split the midsole. Have a look underneath the midsole.
Well, it's goose that, isn't it? That midsole look.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all. Get that.
Yeah, you don't want to reuse that. That's
no. We're gonna have to have new mids on.
Yeah, looks like a bit of neck end or something like that, isn't it? That's gone
not very good at all.
No. And it's probably the original midsole, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it is definitely. It's because it was all original back
Yeah,
then.
but they don't use the best leather for midsoles, do they? It's only a gap filler.
Yeah. Okay.
Right,
so
we'll get on with that
then. Can you just lift that midsole so we can have a look at the have a look at the cork and the shanks if we can.
So look. Oh, look at that look.
Yeah.
You've just got to be careful when somebody else has done them.
Yeah. But they'll have never caught the welt stitching because
the midsole on them.
They've never been down this deep into the shoe. Oh, look at that cork!
Shank's all good. Shank's all good.
Look at that beautiful shank.
Willow shank.
Absolutely fabulous.
Cork was all good. It's a shame we can't save the midsoles, but
new ones in anyway of those. Recork all this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Lovely.
You get a big box full of willow shanks. I don't think I'll ever use them in my lifetime, but we had to buy a million of them or something daft.
What's caused the darkness there then? That's wet. It's got through it, is it? Got into it somehow, yeah?
No,
wet.
that's glue, that look. I bet when they've lifted the sole off to put their half sole on, I bet the midsole's come away a bit, so they've just bunged a bit of glue in there.
Yeah. But aren't they lovely boots?
Oh, trickers, the best, don't they?
Even, an old second-hand pair like that, beautiful, beautiful boat. And the thing about these, the uppers are so crazy soft, aren't they?
Oh, once they're finished, they'll look $1 million.
Soft?
Yeah.
You see some boots and the uppers are so damned hard.
And they're probably 30 years old or something like that, and they're still gorgeous.
And that is Malton. Malton size 8. Malton size 8, fitting 6.
Wide fit.
Don't Maltons normally come with a commando?
Well, it's your department.
Yeah. Okay, so now
Let me get out your way.
the Grassmere's, Paul. The Grasmere's that we're doing the repair on. I'm made to do the next section.
Grasmere.
Grasmere, was it a Grasmere? We were stripping them off, the ones that had the dodgy half-sole repair.
Malton.
Looked like that. Oh, Malton, sorry, Malton, yeah.
Maltons. Yeah, they've gone out.
The what?
They've gone out.
This is what I'm up against. I'm
Well,
trying to do a
You
video.
can't keep up with me, you know. If you can't do the 5-minute video in the
5 minutes?
2.5 hours it takes me to repair them. Not quick enough, kid. In, out.
So I've got a video half done.
It turned out beautiful.
Did
That's
they?
all you need to know.
I can't tell you the stick that I get over these videos that aren't done. So anyway, let's
I'm not part-time. I'm here 7 days a week.
Right, good lad. Right, okay, so they got stripped down. They got a full. Let's just talk me through it. Help me out. They looked something like this, didn't they?
When they went out, they did.
Right. So they got.
They did when they come in.
They got out, shank, everything. New midsole like this.
New midsoles, new heel stacks.
What sole unit went on?
Oh God, I want to say Ridgeway.
Ridgeway.
Towards Green Day night. I don't know. I do lots of shoes.
Do you ever put one on one and a different one, or, Ridgeway and a day night on?
No,
Okay,
because
okay.
every job's got its
Okay.
ticket. You
Right.
So I get the instructions: white stitching, pink stitching, blue stitching, fancy
Right, okay,
nails,
okay,
heel stack inside, heel painted, and.
So listen, it's not my fault that
it never is.
It's
I've known you 42
not my
years.
fault.
It's never been your fault.
not my fault. It's not my fault that I didn't get round here quick enough, and you didn't remind me. And
I seem to recall I did.
did you?
I did. I seem to recall saying to you, "Oh, look, these have turned out nice. These were the gouged heel stacks."
But did you think?
Did you make any video on them? You said, "I'm not sure."
Did you? I know, but did you put like a bit of venom in your voice as you said it? A bit of.
I do try 2 or 3,
because
maybe
if I've
4
got a lot
times,
on my
then after
mind,
that
I can't remember.
They
Can't
go to
remember.
the post after that.
Right. Okay. So we've missed them.
Gone.
We've missed the repair, but they've gone out and they were lovely, were they?
Turned out stunning.
Yeah. Okay. So even though they'd had a
Turned out
dodgy,
stunning.
they'd had a dodgy repair, they turned out stunning.
They'd had a half sole repair, but fortunately, whoever done the half sole, I don't think they meant to do it, but they got back in
I'm
sort
coming
of the
in close.
original holes.
Because I want you to be.
So
picked
I
up
managed to get all the holes stitching back into the original holes.
Right.
But I
Okay.
think they'd only done it by luck, where they'd fitted the sole and heel.
Okay. So unfortunately we missed that. Anyway,
Sorry.
we'll get on with the next repair.